Okay, we got it traced out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this in case there's a problem. So we're going to open up a new page, and here we're going to put our scanned image. You do that by option clicking. Why won't it recognize? Okay, scan a document. Goes right to the phone. And you get the scanned image. This is base draft from a gel pen. Nothing has to be perfect, but good enough for either a line drawing, a hand drawing, or an image trace, whatever. The thing you want is a good gel pen outline to work with. So here you could open this up a little bit. Going to edit mask. This is going to clip the image. That. Okay. Done. Now this image here is, you can see it's a pasted image, PDF from the phone. It's a nice image, but we want to be able to work with it. So we're going to go ahead and Command Shift 4, which is copy to clipboard. Want to grab it. What that's going to do, it's going to convert it. New page. Paste it. See, it's a pasted PNG. And here, what we want to do is start playing with the remove background feature. So you hit that, you see a lot of it already was taken away. You can save it as that. Or continue to work with it. Remove background. Do that. And here you just want to pay attention to not removing too much detail, because you want to save that for your final pattern. As long as it recognizes the shapes, we're okay. I'm doing the hard part first. I'll speed it up a little bit. Now, I guess this is a moth. I don't even know. Looks like it. Alright, so you're going to do that. And we forgot to do the exposure thing. This I was saying about in an earlier video. You want to bring that all the way down so you could see what you've done, what you haven't done. You can see I missed a little spot with the gel pen right here on the bottom. So that's going to cause an issue. You're right down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get as much as I can, and then go into my other app and clean that up. I could rescan the image. It's probably easier. I'm going to get rid of all the stuff from drawing. Sometimes, if you have any erased lines and shadowing on the paper, it'll get rid of all of that. Here, and just keep moving along. And go to the teeth. Sometimes it's okay to leave a little smudge here and there. You can fix all that up later on. But for now, we want to isolate this gel pen drafting. And what we're really doing is digitizing the artwork. get it ready for PDF. Right, get rid of that. Now I have a little issue here. What I'm going to do is hit done. We'll go ahead and I'm going to see about giving it a border just to brighten it up a little bit. 2, 1. Okay. So now we could take this, do the same thing, Command Shift 4, copy it. And I'm going to go into an app that I haven't spoke of yet. It's the Paint S app. It's very similar to standard Paint in Windows. What this is a straightforward pen, erase, enlarge, gamma, all the basic tools. We don't have to go into Pixelmator yet. This will bring us to a better place with our pattern. So you want to launch that. These, if Pages had drawing tools like this, it would be 100%. It doesn't. But it's easy just to open it up in Paint, and you can see what you got here. What we want to do is resize this. I know how to. Here it is. We want to go to 150. Alright. Then here, what we could do is grab a pen tool and change that color to black. And this is 5, so that's a little hard. Let's just go. Let's see, is this a regular drawing? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go down to 3. We had this area down here that was causing us grief. I think it's now okay, but make sure we get it. Just want to connect any loose lines. Okay, do that. There's one over here. What we're doing is we're making sure that all the segments are connected. That's really important for doing the pattern later on. What it's coming out as a straight line. Line? I think I want a line. Okay, yes I do. Alright, up here. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just connecting in the dots. We can go into the eraser tool and get rid of this kind of stuff. We get it a little bit bigger. Again, it's not that important to be perfect. Just want to isolate it from the edge. This all happened because of that space I had. Get rid of that. The stuff in the middle is not that important. Basically, you want to get a clean enough line. Alright, that's pretty good. Maybe get rid of this thing. Alright, we got that. I got a little smudge. It might be alright. Alright. Basically, we're connecting all the lines. You're going to go select all, which is Command A. And Command C is copy. Go back to Pages. Here we're done with this image here. We can get rid of it. We'll paste the corrected image there. And again, we're going to go to the image, remove background, and set a low exposure. And head in. Really don't want to take off too much. Style the border. Put a line. You can see how that's shaping up. We lost a little bit here. Hold on. I'm going to undo. Yeah, it's just lost a little bit too much. Alright, let's see. Sometimes it can be frustrating. I've had points where I had to actually print this and go back over with a gel pen to really fine tune it. Happened a few times. Exposure. See here, when you click this, it should clean up all this mess that's in here. You can actually grab it, clean it up as good as possible. Red all the elements. You don't want to move too far away, maybe 2 or 3%. If too far, you're going to be cutting into your lines. You go 4%. 2% is fine. 4%. 2%. Sometimes it decides what it wants to do. Get it all like this. Taking all the lines out. All the background out. See, that's already transparent. His teeth are too perfect. Here we go. Say, I missed one. Basically, you want to do that. And we have a little heaviness on the outside. We can remove that, trim it up a little bit, go around. Do that, hit done. It cleaned up quite a bit. And we'll go ahead and look at it a little better. We'll go ahead and put a border on it. Alright, that don't look too bad. A little smudging there, so I'm going to go remove background with the border intact. Every time you swipe it, see if this gets too much work going on here. See, there's transparencies here. What you can do, hit the done, go back and copy. There's a lot of copying and pasting. That's the Command Shift 4 key. We'll delete this, paste it, get down the exposure, move background. Now we can go a little heavier. It's still this stubborn area. Oh, we could still fix that. And do the same thing. You don't have to do the whole thing, just, you know, where you want to work it, make it look nicer. Yeah, a little bit down here. It's right in here. Do that. Issue with that tooth. Alright. Now, let's get rid of that heavy border again. Now what we want to do is copy it again. Bring it back. Where are we? Into Paint. We can delete that. File new from clipboard. Let's see, file. And we have that. And if you kept going with the outside, you know, getting rid of the background, that would have been fine. But here, what you want to do is select all. Go to your adjust colors. Let's see, where is color? Apply effect. Adjust colors. And you could pull this away, you could see what's going on. In this gamma setting, I'm going to bring that over. It really darkens up everything, smooths out the lines, and then you say OK. And you go up into the settings here, apply effect. You want to blur. This is the pattern trick a lot of people do. When you blur something, it blends out all the ugly little nasties. You can do that in Pixelmator too, but here it works best. You can get the blur where it works for you. You like that. Say OK. Select all. That's Command A. Command C. Copy. See, it looks very blurry, but not for long. Delete. Paste. And then again for a final background tweak, want to remove the background, and here again you want to, just so we can see what we're doing. See how the further I go away, the further the line gets cut into. So you don't want to go too far. And if you put the style where there's a border, you could see, you can go, why it's doing that. This is what I was saying about how my stuff ended up looking like stained glass. I don't know how, but here we want to, now it's being a pain in the rump. May have to go into Pixelmator and fix that up. But what the blur tool does, kind of neutralizes everything. I'm having a hard time with this. I should have removed that contrast, the exposure element. Get all that off. What I'm really doing is I'm fine-tuning the pattern. It seems like a lot of work, but when you're done, it looks good. This is leaving a lot of line shadowing because of the border. What we can do is remove that and compare it. Little area right here. I said even with this, if you printed it and ran another gel pen over it, you'd have a nice crisp line drawing. Again, we have a little issue right here. I'm going to go ahead and no border. Let's see why we're having that. Little line. Why is it so light? Okay. Copy this. I would almost opt out to go ahead and print this and go over it and be done with it. But what I'm going to do is bring this into Pixelmator. I copied it. New from clipboard. And here you can go, I'm in colors. I want to go into the old warp tool. I'm going to, instead of warping it, maybe we'll warp it. A small amount so you really get into these teeth. See what we can do with them. We'll blow it up. Get down here in the teeth. See what we can do. You're just gonna move everything around to what looks good. You could also use the pinch tool. It works good for this. It's a little heavy. So whenever you're working with line drawings and anything created by you and not by the computer, you're going to have these type of issues, irregularities. But in my opinion, it's what makes the pattern nice. It's, you know, it gives a more of a natural look to things. See, a lot of my patterns are hand done for that purpose. Yeah, I'm just shrinking out the real heavy stuff right now. Just make it look a little cleaner. Yeah, everything's shaping up a little bit. Yeah, leave less space in there. You don't need all that. You don't need all this. Yeah. That. Get up here. So whatever you see in black here will actually be your solder. Because when you cut your patterns and you follow what's going on and actually remove areas of thick black lines, your pattern or your glasswork will actually look like what you see here, which that's a good thing. You can get up here. Stained glass should never be a perfect silhouette type drawing. It should have some kind of irregularities without going crazy. You know, the intentional shadowing is something that I admire, and when you do it yourself and you see it done, you understand why. And we're going to go back to see if we can bring this warp tool. We can do a bump tool, get in here, and we can bump out, make these teeth a little bit bigger. Do that. See, you know, these patterns do take time. They only charge a couple dollars for them. It's really worth it. Well, for others. Alright, so you look at your teeth overall and say, alright, that don't look too bad. We're going to go ahead and do a little warp effect. Just to do a final, maybe this tooth needs to be a little raised. This is what I was mentioning earlier. This is the real game changer. Designing patterns, it's like having an eraser and a gel pen all in one. And you know, with the undo option where you can go back to your last move, it's really efficient, and you get a nice look too. You can step back, look at it, and see, I got a little space here. Give him a little bit more. Just kind of look it over. This tooth is small, but in the real world, teeth are all different sizes. And then you start looking around. You say, you know what, this can be raised up a little bit. This can be brought down. And I know this isn't my design, but I could kind of own it with all the modifications I've done for a stained glass application. But I'm not going to own it because it's not my design. So here I have an issue with this area. It's a very long piece that was in the original. So what you can do is go to the warp tool, get in here, just kind of nudge it over. Like I said, you can do a sliding effect like that. If it needs a little bit over here, sometimes you want to get a little bit smaller, or you could do the bump tool here. Actually, the bump tool may be the better option. So let's see. we get the bump tool out and get right in here. See, that's a little too thin, so let's kind of bump it out. See, now you have something a little more reasonable. See, if you go on here and bump, it's going to make that bigger, so you want to stay over the white. That's a little better. And now we can go back to the warp tool and just see a little bit and make that a little larger. What you can do is move whole sections. His eye looked more like glasses. You can fix that up, fix this up here, make him a little meaner, happier. Also earlier I mentioned about the repair tool. You want to get that a little smaller. That'll do is it'll learn what you're trying to do. That was a bad example. The brush is too big. A little careful. Oh, it's too big. Anyway, let's go to bump. Bump, bump, bump. Go back to bump. Like that. This side looks pretty good. We have a little weirdness going on here, so we're going to go ahead and get into the warp again. It's about like that. Just to kind of clean it up. Here you want to, so you could bring that up. So you know, kind of go around your pattern and just see what you may need to do. Again, a lot of this, when we get back into pages, we can go ahead and clean it up. We had a little mess up right here, so we want to go ahead and bring out the pen. This is a gel pen, but for this, the gel may not be, I mean, it might be good. Let's see. Yeah, it worked fine. I'm going to do that. And here, see, we messed up that, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the bump, bump. That's a little the size of his. This was a looked like a moth. Let's go to shrink. Pinch. Go back to warp. This looked like a moth from the drawing. I couldn't really make it out too well. And wiggle his tail. And these wings are, I guess, you can bring that out. Alright. Okay. Up there. Let's see, up here. Let's scoot down a little bit. Kind of look it over. Okay. So what we're going to do is Command Shift 4, copy, grab it, go back into pages, We can delete that because that's basically what we had that we were manipulating. And then one last time, do a remove background. But before we do that, we want to really get this line contrast working really well. So sometimes a real hard black doesn't work well. Maybe something a little off full black. Let me do that. We go exposure. Why didn't you work? Oh, that's fine because the contrast. Contrast. Give it a little bit so you can see it. We could always adjust the contrast afterwards. And then where you want to go is exposure. Bring it way down. Go to remove background. And carefully come in on each pattern. I said this is not a 1, 2, 3 process. And again, if I printed this in a toned down exposure, and just printed it and went over it with a gel pen, would probably be a lot easier. But alright. See what's nice? See that it's cleaned up all this. That's what Pages does well. See now, what I can do is when I get this all done, I grab this, I bring it back into Pixelmator, and I throw glass in it. And I'll put different glass, like the black and whatever we need up here. I know there was some sort of embellishment up here for the steampunk thing, but you could make it color. Yeah, get everything down good. Once you get a pattern done and published, it makes it all worth the while. Right, so it's got a nice overall looking pattern. You get hit done, and you can also do a border, a line, change it to white, increase the size, just so you get a comfortable size of the actual lead lines. Alright, and we'll go ahead and copy it one more time. Shift Command 4. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to eliminate this heavy outside area. So this one was worked on quite a bit, so I'm not going to delete it. In case I have a problem, I'm going to put a new page. So Pages works well. Instead of trying to work in Pixelmator and layers and getting confused in what you're doing, everything is right here for you to look at, review, see what you need to do. It's just more convenient for this kind of work. Right, so like I said, this is a pasted image. You want to go image, remove background, and go up here. Want to remove it and actually bring this out pretty far, just to get rid of that heavy outside line. Right, and then style, border, line. It's white. Let's see. Come on. That's pretty much it. You can come up here. You know, that was kind of heavy up there. Yeah, wherever it's heavy, just give it a white border. Right, pretty much this is done. It just needs to be numbered. You know, again, if you have little tweaks, you want to mess with it, you bring it back into Pixelmator and do it there. shrink up a few lines, whatever you want to do. And once you get this all done like that, hit done. I'm gonna copy it again. You can't just copy that selected image because it would copy it as a PNG. Here I'm copying it as a flat JPEG. Go new page. Oop, paste. We're going to take that and we're going to adjust the shadowing. You can enhance it with one click. We'll go in here, we're going to get that contrast fixed. So I'm going to really get a good contrast on it without going crazy. Alright. There's a little more further work you can do with this, or you can go ahead and clean it up with the remove background. Take another step every time you do this. You're cutting further and further into the lines. You look at the border, you got a line for the border. We'll go ahead and make that black. You see you have a little shadowing on the outside. Get rid of that. This the tool that removes the background also cleans up all the little jagged edges. If you look in, see, this doesn't have a slide image thing like Pixelmator, but it works. You go in here, see the jagged edges on the left of that circle right here? You pull it out, see it's gone. Here, pull it out, pretty much gone. That's how you can really clean up your piece. Yeah, it's just a matter of coming back and running the background filters. See how it's cleaning everything up. And I have a 1-point border, which is fine. When I get it to a point like this, I just kind of give it a good once over. And then, this is a little heavy here. What we're going to do is bring this back into Pixelmator. See, I got to fix this hat and do a final touch-up. We can call this done here. Done. Just shrink this back down. 125 is a good size. This is you can actually size it now too. So you want to make this 6 inches. So 7 3/4. Center it. I like 7.75. Like that. You constrain it. Now, if you're wondering how this is going to look in a little different perspective, now's the time to do it. You could say, I want Bob Hope. I want who's that other guy? Make My Day. Who's that? Punk. Who is that guy? But you could change it to what you're comfortable with. I mean, something just like around there. I got the 6 by 7 1/4. You can make it 7.25 or 7.5. Say that's done. So it's just a matter of being consistent in patterns. Someone says, "Well, how big's that pattern?" Well, it's 6 by 7.21319. You want no, it's 6 by 7.5. Right? You want to take this. Command Shift 4. A lot of copying and pasting. Get that? Go back to Pixelmator. See, I got my old one here. We can delete that, or you can actually add a new. Let me undo that. You can go File New. What Pixelmator does, it gives you tabs here, the old and new, so you can do a comparison. Here you want to go ahead and get your nudge tool, the warp tool. That's probably the first go-to, wherever it went. Let's see, there we go. warp, and then you just come in and start messing with areas you're not too happy with. Like I mentioned, the hat up here, you go ahead and smooth that out. Down here, you can actually go over the whole thing and shrink lines, add lines. Some people don't like seeing big fat lines, and what I say, cut right down the middle, or use that as a gauge to what you should be looking at when you're done. Because if you put hobby lead around this, it's going to end up being, it's going to look like what you got here, pretty much. And see, this nose is crooked. Is that bad? So you want to do is increase the brush size. Just little things like that, and you could really, let's see, we're going to go ahead and see, and move his nose around. It's just like that. Bring it in a little bit, get up in here. That's a better looking nose, I guess. And give him a real nose. Yeah. See, this line is a little bit off, so we can move that. This, like I said in my other video, this Pixelmator really is a game changer when you're doing patterns. Little tweaks and adjustments are very easy to do. There's no erasing, there's no getting close to the pattern, trying to trim it with a brush tool or an eraser tool. This warp tool and the nudge tool and the bump tool, so you got a little light there. You want to bump it, so you can over bump it and go back and just give it a warp just to correct that area. So basically I'm manipulating all the darker pixels to make it workable. Here you can do stuff like that. You'll add a little more glass area. And speaking of glass, see here I want to bump that. See, I'll just bump that just to give it an overall. Yeah, bump down here too. Bump down there. Yeah, bump right down there. Here we have an issue right here. Go to warp. You go into the white area. So what you're doing is you're grabbing white pixels. You're moving them into the black line. Same here. You can do a 6 1/2 dozen of the other. See how this is heavy? You can go ahead and grab this white, pull it, or grab in the middle of it. Actually grab it up here to give it more of a point. That's all. That comes with practice. You have to understand what the warp tool is doing. You're not just moving stuff around, nilly-willy. You're actually zeroing in on pixels. And this pattern can be played with even a lot more. I don't know if this is supposed to be a butterfly. You can do something like that. Kind of clean it up a little bit. That looks cool. Grab that. Grab this point. We want to shrink that down a little bit. Just get in here. So you want to fine tune. Maybe it's a mini bat. Could be a bat. Bring his hat down. Bring this down. Just because. And like I said, a lot of times with stained glass, you want a little, like between the teeth, you want the solder to be a little heavy around the corners, because that gives a shadowing effect, three-dimensional. You could tell somebody till you're blue in the face that that's intentional and they think you're lying, but I'm not. That is very intentional, especially when I'm doing, like the one I did was a poinsettia. Had a lot of spacing between petals to give it a, you know, a depth effect. It's a shadowing with the lead instead of, you know, painting with paint. You're shaping every piece of glass exactly what you see here. The outcome you get is going to be what you see, you know, as long as you cut the pattern to the template. I see a little issue here I wasn't comfortable with. May come in here with a pen. We have a gel pen. We have a 6. Should be good. Should go. You don't worry about going off the line a little bit. The reason why I say that, you come right back to your warp tool. Say, well, I got a little wonky wiggly over there. Just straighten it out. Heavy here. I mean, you can get crazy. This clearly not drawn with the Dragonfly software, which I'm not going to knock it, but you'll never get this hand-drawn appeal with Dragonfly. It's computer software. It draws its lines, fills the glass, does all those things, but it will never ever be the equal of a hand drawing or hand manipulating. So we could say this was not drawn by hand, but it was, because what I'm doing here is just as much as drawing on a piece of paper. You know, understanding aspects of the design and what we're looking for. Okay, a little pinch. I'm going to pinch this one too. You could say, oh, it's done on a computer, but, well, you know, computer didn't do that. It helped. Right. Again, it's a remarkable tool to really put your ideas onto paper. Well, a computer screen, eventually paper, and eventually into glass. And speaking of glass, so what we want to do is bring this down. We're going to go into our add effect. We got our fill tool, and I know the perfect glass for these eyeballs. I'm gonna say the shades. Whoops, I'm supposed to do that. I gotta select first. I get right in here, right here, and this brush size is a little big. It was open from the last application file I was doing. And then what you do is you go to add effect with these two items chosen. You go image fill, choose, and we're going to go to our glass swatches. What's nice about glass swatches, you can do the tools they have. You can make them any shade of color you want. See, I can increase the scale, decrease it. So I put on those mirrored sunglasses for this guy. I know they're supposed to be hollow and black, but I just thought it up when I was doing the pattern, and it kind of looks cool. And there's no wrong way. With that fill, like I said, you can add an effect, color adjustment. You can do color controls. That gives you a little more options as far as making darker and this and that. Well, I'll show you. You got saturation, so it gives you more color or less. Brightness, contrast, and then it also has the well, that's this image fill is this right here, that part of the tool. But here you have color contrast, and you can go back and go to effects. You go add effect, hue adjust. So now we're in hue adjust. This is color controls, and this is image fill. So you go to angle. Hue is defined by angle. So you can give them those cool Grateful Dead glasses. You can give them the John Denver glasses. Let's see, who's that? ZZ Top? I don't know. But you get the idea. You can do that. And one more thing with the add effect, which is really cool with, especially with these glass fills, because this is actual glass. So you want to do is sharpen. This is sharpen luminance. This how the shimmer effect comes through. So you want to go ahead and sharpen it. That brings out some more grain, and in the radius, we'll start bringing in a little more of the glass look itself. You don't have to do that. I just like playing with it sometimes. But here, pretty much we have a pattern that we took. But before you get to this stage, there's one thing I need to do is unselect this. The reason why I did not make the black and white copy for pages, because I started manipulating it. So you want to do is you can either copy it, or you can copy this, which is fine. Copy. I didn't even go into the transform tools. This has so much power to it. You can do so much. You can go. I like using distort. So you can do a lot of that. That's good for like fixing windows that are not square to your drawing. Let's see. I'm going to cancel that transfer. So we have this. We're going to copy that. Go back to pages. This is done because we made adjustments to it, so we can delete that. And that's our new image. This is our actual pattern. You want to go ahead and just keep consistency, remove the background, so that'll give you a true size. Instead of wondering what the size is, this is going to say from here to here to here to here. Your size is, we want it 6 wide, 7.49. We're going to make that 7.5. OCD will not allow 7.49. Alright. You bring that, put it in the center, and this now becomes what you can use to start numbering. If you go into Pixelmator, go back to the fills. I know I did such a nice job at the glasses. You have to deselect. It's selecting this. You have to deselect to select. I don't know why. You're going to do that. We're going to get matching up there. We're going to fill it. Image fill. Choose. Sometimes these disappear when you're running back and forth, but I know where it is. Sometimes you gotta go over them because there's too much in the clipboard right now for it to work efficiently. Where is it? Alright. Oh, there it is. Bring that back. It's like a Starry Night look there. Kind of like, just like that. Alright, and then you're going to go add effect. I'm going to skip all that because I'm running late on my video. So let's select all, copy, go back to pages, and you have this. You want to paste, remove background, done, and you take this Send to the back. This is not this image is not PNG, but if it was, you'll see this image pull through the other image and give you a really nice stained glassy look. So what you can leave it at this. What I like to do is like I oops, this is off centered. There we go. Send to back. Let's fix this one. Make sure they're both the same size. Alright. And then here, this is the bottom layer. It's the only time I really work with layers is in this case. So you can move layers around very easily. What I do is remove background if all the glass fills were in. Once you remove the background, the glass fills will come through. And then this is a good time to hit your style button and give it a drop shadow. Maybe a line. You go no border. Right? I think I like a border because it's only 1 pixel. So what that does, it really brings it out, makes it look like stained glass. Maybe that's pretty much it. See, if we take this, by sweeping over both, it'll select both. And then you could also check if they're lined up good, because the boxes are all lined up. What you want to do is group it, bring it up, and there you go. You have your stained glass preview. And I'm looking at this, it's a little light here, but like I said, it's a hand drawing. This can be fixed. I would probably do that. I'm working on someone else's pattern. Come on, ungroup. Oh. Not that I don't want to do a good job. I just, you know, this here would give me a little. It would bother me a little bit. It's not consistent. Somebody looks at that, it comes out real obvious. So we can copy it, bring it back into Pixelmator. Actually, use this image here. We're going to zoom in. Let's see what we can do with this area right here. First we'll hit it with the gel pen. Just going to go bring it right down. And do like that. That's a little better. You warp it. Just to get rid of a little boo-boo. Nothing serious. Because, you know, again, you do something, say you messed it up, say, just hit the Command Z. It goes away. Alright, do that. And that's pretty much it. There's still a little tweaking here and there. You can mess with it. But for the most part, it's a completed pattern. See, the more I look at it, the more I can tweak it. It's probably, I usually do. A lot of times I'll publish a pattern and 2 days later say, wait a minute, I gotta fix that. And it's just a matter of just bringing it back, you know, where you can work on it and do the corrections. There are occasions where I say, that cut, you can't make that cut. Like this originally had a very thin piece. It would probably, you can probably cut it, but it would give a lot more grief than good. So we'll just widen it up a little bit. You could keep tweaking away. What's nice about the warp tool, it won't just warp nothing. It'll warp this color. So you want to bring this down, it'll warp that color. You want to go ahead and give a big warp tool, you can do that. So you can say that the glass is a little high. You can bring that down. Bring it over. You want to say, not glasses, but his eye socket was a little bit too, too rounded. You can do something like that. It's just a matter of stepping back, looking at it, and giving a tweak here and there. Patterns, once you're made, they're not done. I mean, once they're done, they're not made. However you want to word it. There's always something you can do. Tweak an aspect anywhere along the way, either after you're done or a week later. Say somebody wanted a chip tooth. I don't know. I gotta put a chip tooth in there. There's so much you can do. The power of Pixelmator. I'm not an associate. I have no dog in the fight, but it's $49 for this software. They have a standard version. It's free. You do a lot of stuff for free, but it really doesn't give you the power of what Pro does. And also I like not so much the AI feature, but the learning feature. They claim that the software actually starts understanding how you want to do things and help you along the way. It's a great feature, and I highly recommend spending the $49. I mean, anybody can do what I'm doing right now. It's just a matter of taking your time, tweaking things, getting comfortable using the software, knowing what the different tools do and how to apply them. And you're probably saying, well, you just tweaked it. You got to go back and fix the other one. You go, all right. Select all. Copy. Back in here. And delete that. And I'm just going to go paste that. And here I want to remove the background. I mean, as it is, I would keep this black and white, but you can, when you do your numbering, you can leave the color, or you can go right back to Pixelmator and shrink this down. And you want to get that color out of the glasses, you just go ahead and hit the selection tool, get in here, it fills it in. Oop, I have to deselect first. That's one thing I always forget to do. You say, why it didn't select? Well, you got to deselect first. You got to think like a computer. It's saying, well, you're trying to do something, you can't do it because you didn't deselect that. So now we have this selected. We go ahead and you can do a color fill, or which is easy. Just make it white. I'll do that because I haven't shown anybody this yet. So you can just do that, or you go ahead and do this, add effect, color fill here this way, just white. That's a lot quicker. Now you don't want all these little dots. You got to select all, and look, I see that. What is that, a fly? No, it's a knot. Alright, get rid of that. I don't know where you came from. Like I said, you always come back and do a little tweak here and there. You're never really done. I mean, you're done, but and again, you could take this, print it out, you set the contrast low, get a nice gel pen. I use the Pilot G2. Something about the ink comes up nice when you scan it, and it keeps its shape, and it also flows nice out of the pen. So you can actually print this, go over with a gel pen, call it a day. Scan it and run it as a PDF. So select all, go in here. We're going to leave that guy as our, we're going to get rid of this, remove background, Oops. Now how did I do that? Hold on. How did those eyeballs get back again? Select all. Copy. Delete. There we go. And we want to remove the background so we can get our sizes correct again. Size 6, and it retained it that time because we copied it previously. By dragging it to the crosshairs, you can get perfect center. And then when you want to start numbering, it says you just type to enter text, you put number 1, highlight it, look at your pattern, you say, you know what, I'll put 14 pixels, points here, and I'll put 10 points or maybe 12 points down here. So you're going to make that 14. You want to center it, click away, click back so you can get the sizing tools. Take 1, you put 1. Now just by moving it around, you see where that red line is? That now tells you that's perfectly centered to the pattern. If you have OCD like me, it matters. And with that, I am closing out this video.